Alright, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, Connor on Chains. So before we start, I want to say thank you guys for 4,000 subscribers. That is huge for me. 233 videos later. I want to say thanks again for just putting up with my yawns every single video, and on my lagging and my slow computer. Yeah, I just appreciate everyone for watching over the last year. Honestly, very grateful for, just all these subscribers, all you guys consistently tuning in. A year ago is a completely different Connor, like night and day different. And I'm very grateful for, seeing this right now. So again, I just want to say thank you for everyone. Or thank you to all you guys. So anyways, let's jump into some altcoins. Bitcoin over the last hour is down another percent. Classic. Probably see that again and again and again. But yeah, like I said, let's get into some alts. Because for over the last few weeks mainly, another yawn, I've been very bullish on gaming again. I really haven't been hyper bullish on gaming at all for a long time. I have had some exposure to gaming in my portfolio. Because, initially I don't know when exactly gaming pumped, but I know, late 2023, maybe into 2024, I know gaming did have a nice pump at some point. But outside of that, I still feel like gaming really hasn't had that major leg up yet that most are expecting, and including myself, that I am expecting too. Yeah, so I just want to talk about, a few here that I'm really bullish on. And like I said, if you guys just watched my video from yesterday, I don't really go too in depth. Because like I said, I'll probably make videos on these individual tokens at some point. But I mainly talked about Moon Tropica, Warped Games, and Corpo. Those are three, very high conviction gaming tokens as of late of mine. Well, in Warped Games I've covered on the channel now for like 3 months, 4 months on and off. Excuse me. But here's another one too that is fairly new. Tokenomics, I don't know what to say, good or bad. There's definitely a small circulation right now. But the tokenomics are okay for Carrot. But overall, I do think this has good potential, and it is fairly bottomed. But the thing about a lot of newer coins is, most of them just haven't found a full out bottom yet. So they just continue to dump and continue to dump and continue to dump. But I think it's just the whole narrative itself just really does continue to just go down and go down further and further right now. Because like I said, it's not just Carrot, it's not just Corpo, not just all these other tokens, right? Even I think, what was it, Beam in my opinion is one of the strongest gaming tokens you could buy that's like higher in market cap. That's the same thing. Look at the chart. It's just, obviously it ran up, but it's just been going down and down and down for months now. Literally, what, 4 months, 5 from the peak? March 9th, April 9th, May 9th, June 9th, July 9th, just, it's like almost straight down, So it really just is the narrative. But, again, we still got, if you want to base this whole cycle, whatever you guys believe in for the rest of the crypto cycle, if you want to base it on a time frame of relating back to the previous cycle and the cycle before that on a time span, we're only 3 months out basically from our Bitcoin halving that just happened. And then altcoins in the last cycle, well, I take it back. 3 months out from our Bitcoin halving, usually nothing happened in previous cycles 3 months out. Shit was still moving sideways. But Bitcoin started to rip about 5 to 6 months after the Bitcoin halving. In the 2 previous cycles, we saw that explosive growth, right? This cycle, again, we're only 3 months in, so we still have a little time of chop if it's going to follow some sort of potential run like the last bull runs. But I want to show everyone something with the altcoins. You know, in comparison to the previous cycle. So we'll pull up the mother chain here. We got Bitcoin. Shout out to BTC. But anyways, in the previous bull run, again, if we just look, the previous halving I think was in May. So somewhere over here, May, June, July, August, September, October, November is when we started to really see some growth, right? And then into March, or no, I'm sorry, into April. So about 5, 6 months, we really started to see some parabolic moves, right? Again, we're not really there yet, but as far as for altcoins, I want to show you guys something from this halving. Again, I think this was in May. From May until the second peak, which was in November, right? Somewhere around, you know, late October, November, I think. Well, let's just say it's in November of 2021. So from May 2020 to 2021, I gotta do the math literally on my fingers right now. So from May 2020 to May 2021, it's a year, obviously. June, July, August, September, October, November. So a year and a half. Basically 18 months from the Bitcoin halving is when we saw most altcoins hit some sort of peak, right? You know, and I actually just talked about this in a private video as well. But with Avalanche, you know, this is just, I feel like this is a good example because Avalanche was a very slow mover last cycle, but it still ended up pulling really good gains, right? Like November 22nd, literally in November 2021, topped out at $134 when in July it was at $9. So this was middle of the bull run, you know, from July to November, which would be basically from now until November. Similar, right? That was, I'm trying to think of how many months. July, August, September, 5 months. But again, if we space it on the other bull run, we still have way longer than that. I'm not talking about this July now into this November. I think we're going to see a huge parabolic run, but I don't know. If in the previous cycle, we saw... My bad. In the previous cycle, we saw altcoins really top out a year and a half after the Bitcoin halving. You know, that kind of sets everything up in a different perspective, you know? Because I feel like it's hard to tell where this market's going to go, right? But that would be equivalent to, for this cycle, because we had the halving in April. So April of next year plus 6 months, May, June, July, August, September, October, which would basically put us in a bull run for another literal year and a half, almost year and like 3 months from now, before we saw altcoins top out again, strictly basing it just off from the initial halving, which you guys can see here. It's not even listed on the chart, you know. So this is kind of signifying what I'm trying to show you is the potential in gains that we still may have on the table, which is why I always say, you know, even if you don't know what is going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months, 18 months now, you know, do you want to take a chance at missing out on something like this just by being in the market for another year and a half. For me, that's why I'm literally here, right? I want to see things like this happen again. Is it guaranteed? No. Nothing in this market is guaranteed, but I still firmly believe in another sort of form of a bull run is going to occur. Maybe it does top out in the next few months, or maybe it does last way longer than I would have thought. Maybe it does last another literal year and a half from here, right? Nobody knows, but as of now, again, I just kind of wanted to put that in perspective, because even this is another coin I showed as well in the private video, is Axie. The same thing. Axie topped out literally in November 2021, right? But back in the, literally in 2020, literally a few months after the last halving, what was Axie's market cap? 7 million in market cap, guys, right? From 7 million in market cap in November. Again, this is when Bitcoin was starting to finally make that parabolic move. So this is still May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. So that's still like 6 months. This mark here, 6 months before Bitcoin had actually started to move. Just picture this chart 6 months back, depending on, I don't know if Axie was actually launched in November or earlier, but let's say it was launched when Bitcoin halved. The chart would just look flat. Maybe it ran up, came down again, flatlined, basically sat for a while, and then had that huge run. Look at what it went from. 7 million, 10 million. Let's say, again, no one's going to catch the literal bottom. Let's say you got in at 30 million. As you're FOMOing on a little pump down there. From 30 million, 2 billion, 3 billion to 10 billion. That's insane. And again, this is not going to be typical at all for this bull run in any sort of way. But just that kind of potential I think is there. Again, not from 7 million to 10 billion, not even close. Maybe for that rare dark horse gem that's just out there, but I don't know. I would never claim that a coin is going to pull a literal, what is that, a literal 1000x? Yeah, I think that's 1000x, going to 10 billion. I mean, even just to get it to 7 billion from 7 million, I think is an 1000x. But even I kind of want to see Doge's chart just for meme coins. I want to check that because I haven't even looked. This video, I know I wanted to talk about some altcoins, but I'm kind of just going off a tangent right now. So let's see. So Dogecoin was sitting, obviously it had the mind share of everyone. It was the top meme coin in the entire space. So keeping that in mind, when Bitcoin halved, it was at 300 million. You guys can see the chart. It was basically flat. I mean, it went from 300 million to 420 million, 440. So it's basically just going like this, flatlining for 6 months, a year. And then once it got a little bit of attention, what did it do? From 300, 400 million, hit a billion, 7 billion on this pump. 6 billion. And then what did it do? Boom. 50, holy shit. 50, 60, 80 billion, dude. That's insane. And obviously Doge just doesn't have, I mean, I think it still has the attention, but I still think retail hasn't really, fully dove into this market. I think obviously there are a lot of retail people that have seen the market and are, maybe they're starting to learn about it now, jumping in. But I'm talking about that full out euphoric wave where crypto is that. Crypto is that thing. It's that guy, It's that dude. It's the thing that everyone's talking about, I don't think we really still have seen that. We did see, I feel like we got a hint of it in, what was it, maybe March. It felt super euphoric in March, but anyways, outside of that, I wanted to just pull up more gaming tokens because that's what I was doing before I went on that tangent. Like I said, Warped, Ka, aka Moon Tropica, Ka's the ticker, CAH. And then Corpo, very strong. Soonverse is still a good pick of mine for a microcap. Yeah, those are just coins I've been looking at and I really do like as of recently. I've been looking at newer coins as well lately, but honestly, there really just hasn't been too many solid coins that have been launching that I've seen. I don't know how many portfolios they had up here. Hold up. Where is GameFi? GameFi. But yeah, at the same time though, there have been a lot more coins though that have just appeared on CoinGecko. A lot more coins that are still just launching. This is a newer one, but very interesting too to me. I've not covered that yet. But outside of that, I kind of just wanted to look through this. I still like Shrapnel. I've talked about it in the past. But I think there are just a lot of shooting games. So I really don't know. I don't know what to expect with, a lot of shooters over the next few months. Because if there are a ton of them and most games are shooters, it's hard to know what they're really going to do, But, yeah, I don't know. Outside of that, those are just some of the projects I'm personally very bullish on. Like I said, I don't know why I have Phantasma starred, but Warped games, like I said, I really like Warped. Still, Warped is like my highest conviction gaming token. I really like that. Yeah, it's not too much else I could really, want to bring up in this video. I think I said I was going to talk about memes, but yeah, I feel like I talk about memes very often. I'd rather, just make very specific videos for memes and then other videos specifically for utility, whether it's gaming, AI. But, outside of that, I just wanted to get a bunch of, random thoughts out for everyone here. Because like I said, I'm very bullish on gaming. I'm just going to be continuing to add into those tokens. And, if I find anything else that really does pique my interest and intrigue me, I'll be talking about it in Discord for a while. And then I'll be talking about it on YouTube. But outside of that, guys, there are a lot of different games now. A lot of newer ones to be looking at, but yeah, you guys can check this stuff out as well. Check out those coins I mentioned, and outside of that, I will see you in the next video. Probably going to talk about AI and other narratives as well, especially RWA. I've not covered RWA recently, but very slept on as of right now. So outside of that, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.